Hey, welcome to Mr. New's Garage. Mr. New without a green screen. Yeah, I'm not going to have a green screen for probably the next week. I hope to keep the video quality as good as possible, but we'll see. Today, Inktober the 3rd, and the prompt today is bulky. Bulky. Let's hop into that. So bulky is today's prompt. Bulky, bulky, bulky. I don't know what I want to draw for that. Let's see. I could draw a buff dude working out at the gym. I could draw a big... bulky just means big, right? I mean, it could be anything big. I could carry on this little landscape and have something big in the landscape. I kind of, I really like the way that Seascape, I keep calling it a landscape, but Seascape kind of carried on. I wonder what would happen if I came up with some kind of idea for how I could do something, carry that on. I wonder, let's just sketch that horizon across the rest of the way and think bulky. Bulky means big. Bulky means, larger than expected, or larger than, maybe not even larger than expected. It just means big, right? Right? I'm gonna, I want like an official definition of the word bulky. I'm gonna go to Google. I'm gonna ask Google to define the word bulky. So let's see. Define bulky. Come on, internet. There we go. Definition. Taking up much space, typically inconveniently large and unwieldy. Taking up much space, typically inconveniently. Well, so something that could take up a large amount of space in a seascape like this could be like a lighthouse. I could have a lighthouse that's really big here. That doesn't seem inconvenient, though. Maybe there could be a big boat that's imposing on this fisherman. Except I've kind of put in a shoreline. Let's carry on that shoreline and see. If I'm trying to make things fit in like a long format, wide format thing, the only thing that comes to mind immediately is a lighthouse. Either that or maybe like just some big buff dude at the beach, but that doesn't really make a lot of sense at night. To be honest, the fisherman at night doesn't make a whole lot of sense either. I guess there are some fish that are night fish, but usually most people go fishing during the day. Anyway, I don't know. I think I'm just going to go with the lighthouse idea. That seems like it might be the kind of easy way out. And considering that I still have a lot of work to do today, maybe going the easy way out is the best way. So let's make, we want it to be a big lighthouse, right? Because it's bulky. Bulky is the word of the day. So I'm going to make it a very, wider than expected lighthouse. Normally lighthouses are pretty narrow. They're just like tall and narrow. Maybe I'll make this lighthouse wider than expected. And let's see. Let's bring that down a little before we make the base of it. Something like that. And the light part of the lighthouse will be up here. Something like that. Maybe the lighthouse has, let's see, maybe there's like a doorway, like an entryway. I don't know how I want to handle that. Let's see. Like a little roofish, little awning covering over a doorway off to the side here. And maybe a little pathway from the door. Lighthouses usually have those spiral stripes going around. What do I think? Is this just absolutely terrible? Is it great? I'm not in love with it, but I think on a day like today, I just want to get it done. Let's see how this turns out. We got some light coming out. I think it's time to start. I think I'll start with the sky. And I'm debating, I think the way I'm going to do the sky, I think for that, that path of light coming out of the lighthouse, I think I'm actually just going to darken it in black, night sky, and then go over it with the gel pen again. Kind of like the way I did the swirls in the wind yesterday. But it won't, I don't know, I'm probably not going to go the Van Gogh style like I did yesterday, where everything is, little marks, little dashes. I will probably do it more, I don't know, I don't want to I don't want just white where the light is coming out. I want it to, I'll probably do hatching or something. Come to think of it, I could have used this pen to make sort of a looser, more textured, whatever, it's too late now. Anyway, while I am working on this, what do I want to ramble on about today? I've talked a lot about 2020 and stress. I've talked a lot about finding the silver lining and finding some joy and peace and calm amongst all of the stress. I think it's time to find something to ramble on about that isn't quite so oppressive. Something that's just, a fun, whimsical, enjoyable thing. So how about the weather? That's one thing people always go to when they want something to talk about that's not a dumpster fire. I personally have been absolutely loving the weather lately. I know that some places around the world are, experiencing things like wildfires and other crazy garbage going on, but right here in North Alabama, we have been experiencing some beautiful fall weather. The mornings, like right now, it's like 6:30 in the morning right now while I'm recording this, which is actually later than I normally get up. But the weather in the mornings has been super like chilly, which is exactly what I like these cold mornings and then highs in the 70s. It's been like 40, 45 degrees in the morning when I get up. Usually I go for a walk in the morning before I start my day. Today I slept in and just got started on this right away. But it's like, 40 or 45 degrees in the morning and then highs in the 70s, low 70s, like 71, 75, something like that. The weather has just been gorgeous. I love the chilly. I love the cold air. I love the waking up to a crisp morning and all that. Okay, now for that lighthouse. I want, let's see. It's going to have, it's going to be alternating black and white. Let's see. Let's do, I don't think I want to darken in completely black for any part of it. I think I'm going to do cross-hatching here. And I think I want, let's see. How do I want to handle the... Yeah, I think I'm just going to do it in cross-hatching. I think it's just going to be... There's going to be some light shining from the moon onto this side. So this side over here is going to be the darkest. So I'm not afraid to get my cross-hatching super close over here. Now, if this is a dark stripe, there's going to be a ton of cross-hatching. It is still going to get lighter as it moves this direction, because, even black, like even if it's painted black, when the moonlight is shining on it, it's going to brighten up a little. Anyway, then the next stripe is going to be a white stripe, right? But in that white stripe, there's still going to be, shadowed edge on this side over here. Something akin to that, right? Make it look round and cylindrical, right? And then it's going to be a black stripe again. And the black stripe is going to look more like this one. So again, it's cross-hatching, but it's lots of it. Anyway, so we've had beautiful weather here. It's been really gorgeous. Hope that keeps up. My favorite weather is snow, of course. Just like any teacher would say, snow, right? It's just like a teacher to say. Except it's not just because we get out of school for snow. Like, teachers love to talk about snow because they get a day off of work for it, right? But honestly, I just love snow. I really can't wait until winter, and I really hope that we get some snow this year. That would be amazing. If we're talking about weather. Is there anything more interesting to talk about than the weather? Oh, I did too much. I overdid those things. Oh, darn. Oh, maybe not. Maybe I didn't overdo it. It'll be all right. Anyway. So, yeah, what to ramble on about there's only so much you can ramble about the weather before it gets boring. Just life in general is interesting and good and fun, and we got some plans to travel and go see my wife's grandfather this week. I know, with all this coronavirus stuff, that might sound like, oh, you shouldn't do that. Well, maybe we shouldn't, but he wants to see us and we want to see him. And so we're going. I know, there's a risk associated with traveling right now. But it's kind of one of those things where it's like, he's an old man. And so he's at risk, I guess, at a higher risk for getting, major illness from that. And, but, he's willing to take that risk in order to see us. And we're willing to take the risk of traveling to go see him. And it's like, it's interesting because there's certain things that you're willing to take the risk for, and then there's other things that you're not willing to take the risk for. Like, I have been requesting to be a virtual teacher at school, and part of me feels a little hypocritical asking for that when I am willing to travel to go see my wife's grandfather. Like, if I'm willing to do that, surely I'm, willing to take the risk of going into the classrooms. And, I have considered that argument in my own mind. But at the same time, it's like, which one of those is actually riskier to me? Traveling in a situation where I can control everywhere that I go. I can control which stores and restaurants I go into and don't go into. I can control my distance away from people. And, Laura's grandfather lives on a huge plot of land up in North Carolina. So it's not like we're going to be out in the open with, out in the, like a big city or something. We're going to be traveling to a farm in Podunk Nowhere, right? So it's like we're going to be spending all of our time outdoors. Anyway, it's like, but I still, I feel a little hypocritical. And I know I shouldn't, but it's one of those things. It's like, I like to be beyond reproach whenever possible. And I totally understand why some people, if they saw, oh, you're willing to travel, but you're not willing to go into the classroom. There's some people that would be, but in the classroom, there's just no control. Kids take their masks off. And if I'm teaching art on a cart, then I have no control over my space of where I am. That's another big thing. Is like, it's, if I had my own space, my own classroom where I can control my distance to the students and my my area, that would be a very different story. But I don't have that. It's, if I go into the classroom, I will be art on a cart, and which, I don't have a problem with art on a cart in general. I've been doing that for a decade, longer than a decade. I've been doing that for forever. So I don't have a problem with being art on a cart. I'm used to that. But I do have a problem with not being able to control what my situation is. And during this crazy pandemic times, it's important to me to have control over my space. And so, like I said, with traveling, I will have complete control over where I stop, how many times I stop, and where we go, what we do while we're there, and how far away from, it's like we're going to visit Grandpa. We're not going to visit 1 million people. We're going to visit a person. And from there, it's like, I don't know. You call me hypocritical if you want. I called myself hypocritical about it. So I totally get that. But I'm scared of going into the classroom. If it comes to going into the classroom, if they tell me I have to, I will. I'm trying, they're communicating with my doctor to try to figure out if it's really, what my level of risk is and all that. But anyway, I'm rambling about things that are personal and don't really, I probably shouldn't be talking about publicly, but whatever. Anyway, yeah, it's on my mind. Let's talk about art. Here I'm just making some rocks, some rocky, a lot of times lighthouses are built on rocky areas of the, the shore, rather than sandy areas of the shore. And that's, at least in part, that's because rocks make a better foundation for heavy buildings, big, tall, heavy buildings. You wouldn't want to build a lighthouse on the sand and then have it sink into the ocean. That'd be terrible. Anyway, yeah. Now, going back to this whole coronavirus thing, like, controlling your environment, that's the big thing, right? Like, if you can control who you're with, how many people you're with, how much time you spend indoors versus outdoors, if you can control all of these things, then you can control your risk level. And that's exactly why I'm scared of going into the classrooms, because I will have no control over other people's space. And, right, so there's like procedures in place, supposedly, for like how much distance there is in the classroom between teachers and students, and between students and all that. But every classroom looks different, and that, not a one of them is going to be set up the way that I would set it up. And, you know, I've been into some of the classrooms. I've seen some of the classrooms, and it's like there's not even a path for me to wheel a cart in through the door without being 5 feet away from kids. And, you know, that's not okay to me. It's like, if I'm going to be going into the classrooms, there needs to be a pathway that I can get in without being too close to folks. Anyway, I'm almost done with this. I will stop rambling about my personal woes with the coronavirus, and instead, I will continue rambling about these rocks. So I'm just like yesterday with the sandy areas, I'm kind of stippling, and then these rocks, I'm doing kind of scribbly cross-hatching. And just like in the last couple of days, I'm going to try to do like a little bit of a vignette here, get kind of darker around the edges. And I am really happy with how this picture has turned out. It doesn't quite, in my mind, match with the word. The word was bulky today, and I mean, I guess it did turn out to be kind of big and bulky, but whether it fits with the theme of the word of the day, bulky, you know, whether it fits with that, I don't know, whatever, maybe not. But I am definitely pleased with the way these first 3 days come together. Like that looks really cool to me. I'm really, really enjoying. I wonder if I could do something similar in weeks to come and have like a long panoramic of a landscape that just, I don't know. Like, I really like the way that those three merge into one. I'll be thinking while I travel about ideas of, see if I can do something similar. Even if I just like break it up into like 3 or 4 or 2 or 3 or 4 at a time. I like the way that those come together to make one picture. Anyway, if you like this, the way this turned out, give it a thumbs up. Share it with your friends. If you want to see more of what I come up with for this year's Inktober challenge, subscribe, because there will be a new video every day for the rest of the month. You don't want to miss them. I hope my rambling about the coronavirus didn't scare everybody off. I hope that you enjoy the way this picture turned out. Bye-bye. See you later. See you tomorrow. Have a great day.